Left turn first available. I got a high wind coming up on about a half mile final. Clear to land at or beyond. Traffic on the left face. You're following a Cessna down low off your left. Square up just a little bit, and then we're going to get you in. Start your descent, though. Start your descent on the base. Traffic on final. Going to be follow on base. Base traffic. Start turning toward the numbers now. High wing coming up on quarter mile final. Take it all the way down to the green. Cessna taxiing on the green. Expedite down to the next hard surface. Get me some speed. There you go. Go, 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 go fast. This is going to be good. I got traffic on a mile final. You're following traffic ahead and to your right. High wing coming up on the threshold. Take it all the way down to the green dot.
5 Charlie Sierra, 2 mile final.
A mile final. Turn north, and we're going to just make you. We're going to bring you back around. Jet traffic's coming up on about a mile and a half final. Runway 9 clear to land.
Okay. All right. Let's listen up, guys. If you're on final for runway 9, I want you to offset to the left. I got a jet that's landing on runway 9. The jet's cleared to land runway 9 if you can make it. If not, just continue straight ahead. It looks like you're going around for the jet. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, we had one right in front of us, sir.
Dragger. Let's see. What we got? A tricycle. Tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tail dragger. Down to the green dot, then a left turn. Short final here. You cleared land on 9 all the way to the white dot. Go down to the white dot. Find somebody to follow out here. Canard, just come to the runway, and I might have to just send you around. That'll be fine. And for the jet, you just want to stay in this pattern, or you want to go back out for an instrument approach?
Stay in a pattern, Charlie Sierra.
All right, just stay with me here for a minute. And my tail dragger, let's see, over the numbers, go down to the green. And Canard's going to have to go around. Canard, go around. Canard, go around. Canard, go around. And my high wing here over the runway, keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. You do not descend. Do not descend. You got a fast guy behind you. Do not descend. There you go. Keep it airborne. Keep it airborne. As soon as the guy behind you gets slowed down, I'm going to put you down. So keep it airborne. The one that just passed the white dot, make a left turn on the hard surface. All right, my high wing tail dragger, you can put it down now. You can put it down now. And Charlie Sierra, let me get you about a mile off. Let's see, Charlie Sierra, I lost. There you are. Make a left-hand turn. I'll try to resequence you here on the downwinds. We'll see how it looks. Short final, you're clear to land runway 9 on the white dot. Clear to land on the white dot. There you go. And the tricycle left on the hard surface and follow the flagman. Welcome. Thanks for being part of the show. And let's see, just find somebody to follow out follow on the final. And as you get close to the runway, if it's not going to work, we're going to send you around and then try to resequence you. Now, who else got sent around that's not back on the downwind? The Canard?
Yeah, Canard.
All right, Canard, there's a Gulfstream up there that went around too. I just lost sight of him, but you're going to make kind of a left-hand turn and stay low. I think Charlie Sierra, what's your altitude?
3,200.
Okay, that'll be fine. Just maintain VFR. I don't know what else is up there above you. Probably most everybody's down here, so just make a left-hand turn. We'll try to get you back here.
Canard's got the jet in tight.
Okay, the RV, maybe an RV-10, whatever, you're on final. Keep your speed up and go all the way down to the, aim for the green dot for me. Actually, keep your speed up. There's a guy behind you. Aim for the green dot. I'm sure that's plenty of room for you to land on runway 9. You're clear to land on runway 9. Number 2, you're going to go down to the white dot. Follow the white dot. Actually, you know what? That's 1,500 feet. You're going to land at the white dot. The spacing looks adequate here. 2 guys on final. You're kind of tight there. Keep each other in sight, and you're going to aim for the white dot. If it's not going to work, we'll come up with a plan B. We might have to send you around. The second guy behind you out there in about a 2 mile final. Are you slow enough to be able to follow that guy in front of you? You need to go around. Well, I probably shouldn't ask that because I had about 5 guys answer me, so I should know better than that after 35 years, you would think, right? All right, so let me see. The guy who's number 1, it's number 1. What kind of airplane is he? An RV type. All right, RV type. Keep it airborne for me. Keep it airborne. And I got a fast guy behind you. The number 2 guy over the tree there. Go ahead and put it down on the numbers. Put it down on the numbers. My first guy just coming up on the numbers at the over the grass at the numbers. I want you to keep
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Oh, we were 2 seconds away on that timing there. That is pretty hot. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Thursday night's live stream. The weather's been more or less gorgeous, a little bit iffy, but not too bad at all. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I actually went flying this morning, which didn't end well, but it wasn't an accident or anything, just a bit of a technical failure of the voltage kind, unfortunately. But there you go. So, yeah, welcome to this Thursday's live stream. Yeah, we got a special one for you tonight. We don't have a guest at the moment. We may have a surprise guest. We'll let you know later. We haven't decided to do it yet.
It will be a surprise.
It'll be as much of a surprise for you as it will be for us. Yes, this is the live stream brought to you in cooperation with SkyDemon. Very, very thankful they support the live stream. Thank you very much, SkyDemon. And here is your tip number 42 from Hannah.
Hi, I'm Hannah from SkyDemon, and this is today's top tip.
When flying over high terrain, the colour high terrain feature is a great way to easily visualise mountain valleys and passes while planning your route. Go to Mapping, Terrain and Surface Features, and toggle on Colour High Terrain. Here you can set the maximum altitude that you're willing or able to fly. You'll see the colours on the map change, and there's a handy key here to tell you what the colours mean. Any terrain higher than 500 feet below reference altitude will be coloured red. Then there's a band of orange for any terrain higher than 1,000 feet below the reference altitude, and then a band of yellow. And any terrain lower than 1,500 feet below your reference altitude is shown in a pale green to contrast the high terrain, making the valleys easily visible. You can also turn on Colour High Terrain in Go Flying mode, which uses your own altitude as the reference altitude.
For more information on using SkyDemon, take a look at our user guide, which you can access from our website.
Pretty good. Well,
I'm going to nickname that function the terror button.
yeah. As you're flying along in cloud and you need to pick your way through a valley, use the sky. Yeah. On a kind of slightly serious note, at the end of every SkyDemon video, they say, for more information, don't forget to check our user guide. And clearly, nobody in their right mind uses user guides. I'd say it's actually pretty good and not one of the impenetrable. Apparently, he looks like somebody who's got COVID as well. I'm not going to say. But he did write a script for us, and we do have our very own new weather presenter. As usual, no money spared on the graphics here.
Good stuff. Right, I'm going to dig up the charts. Here we go. Here's number one. So this is straight from the fingertips of Simon. So Saturday is set to be the best flying day of the weekend. High pressure to the south, with remnants of a warm front over northeast Scotland. Broken cloud for most of the day. Some decent spells of sunshine and viz as well. On the far northeast of Scotland, may see some low cloud and drizzle with bases at around 1,500 feet. And then a warning to watch out for later in the day for decreasing cloud bases and poorer viz over the English Channel as an area of thundery rain pushes out of northern France. Generally, cloud bases will be about 4,000, but a reminder to watch out for that thundery rain in the southeast later on. Sunday, let's get the chart up for Sunday. There we go. So Sunday's murkier overall across England and Wales. We've got a small spring low pressure drifting out of France across the south of the UK. That will bring some thundery showers, low cloud, mist and murk Sunday morning. Bases around 1,200 to 2,000 feet. It probably does improve over the south toward the afternoon as the lower cloud outbreaks and the rain drift northward. And Scotland is probably flyable overall, bases around 3,000 to 4,000 with a low risk of some cloud over the eastern coasts. And that is your weather, brought to you by, and I forgot to put the ticker up, weatherschool.co.uk. So if you want to find out more, go and visit them.
But more importantly, Johnny, when is the next weather school on?
No idea. Well, put it this way: not till Simon's better.
So, seriously, thank you very much, Simon. Get well soon.
Get well soon.
School, go. Has anyone got any questions for Simon?
No, doesn't look like it.
Simon, you're not wearing your bright shirt, Simon.
No, Simon number 2 only got back from filling in his annual permit paperwork about 3 minutes before the live stream started.
Yeah, so it would appear that I am yet again suffering from a slightly interesting slow internet connection. So maybe I'll just stalk more slowly. I'm a slow stalker. I apologise. We've got a nice green cabinet that's been placed at the end of the road, and the whole village should be getting fibre to the premises soon. So we'll have like 900 bananas, and then it will be fine.
Good news. Whiskey Alpha Pilot says it's okay at the moment.
Great. In that case, I can talk quickly. It is time to move on to the news. Dave, you're up first. What have we got?
Well, first of all, we're going to talk about the new issue of Flyer. It's been awkward talking about new issue of Flyer at the moment because we're now obviously a website, but we are still producing this, a compilation of the last 4 weeks of the best of Flyer. So, it's still an issue, if you like. It's for people who really are perhaps travelling and want to read Flyer offline. Perhaps you're on an airliner somewhere, or a train journey, or even stuck in a hospital in bed with a broken leg. But so if you want, I know it's a bit random.
It's a bit random, wasn't it?
I've done it 3 times, so it does happen. Anyway, so Flyer June 2022 issue. It's the first edition of the new look Flyer. It's a compilation of the selected articles published during the last 4 weeks. You can download it as a PDF to read offline, although it's best consumed online on the website. So the stories in this issue are full coverage of Aero 2022. When I say full coverage, I really do mean full coverage. There's pages and pages and pages of it. Just everything you can imagine. Next feature, spring weather tips. Lauren may not be here tonight, but we're still spring, and it's May, probably one of the most contrary months, difficult to read. But Simon has penned a piece which helps you to make sense of the weather forecasts. Jerry Parr has also penned a piece for the time of year, which is checking over your aircraft if it's been inactive over winter and you're just waking it up, and giving it a pat on the cowling is not going to be enough. You need to do a bit more than that. Jerry runs through all the things you need to do to make sure it's safe and working well. This month's flying adventure is very topical because George Gruber and Dick Beath, I think that's how you pronounce Dick Beath, they flew to Ukraine in their Piper Cherokee 6. They flew to Poland in their Piper Cherokee 6 to take supplies for Ukraine, which were then carried across the border by car. Ian Seeger, that chap in the top right corner, writes about EASA's plan for Part M Light, which will make it easier for smaller manufacturers to produce new aircraft, and we wonder whether the UK CAA will adopt the same system. I'm giving him a second to come back and appear. Never mind, move on. Mark Hale, another columnist.
I've got myself a little board that I can write on, you see.
Okay, right. Mark Hales. You may remember Mark has been building this blinking diesel engine aircraft. It seems like years. It actually has only been months. And Mark is right. Mark writes, he wants more power. More power. What's this? Oh, I see. Part 21. Right, I know. Yes, yes. Okay. I've still got to make that correction. Right. Okay. Moving on. Kat Burton is our new safety editor. First column in this issue. So what we're saying with this PDF, the very best way to consume Flyer these days is on the website, because it's the latest copy, it's the latest and most updated thing. It's got videos, it's got multimedia, and it's a darn sight easier to read on any device. But if you are traveling and you want to download a PDF, there's one there under the magazine section. I'll move on.
Basically, we're still creating the same great content that we would have created, but instead of like sitting on it for 4 weeks and then just go, here you go, in one big lump, we go, hey, we finished that. Let's put that one up. We finished that. Let's put that one up. And then at the end of the month, we go, and we put it all together in a lovely little package that you can consume offline, should that be the way you want to consume it. But as Dave said, the best way to consume it is on the website, which you can read on a tablet, on a laptop, on a mobile phone, or whatever you want. So there you go. Right. However, another kind of content tomorrow. What's happening tomorrow, Ed?
Private Flyer starts tomorrow. So this is the first UK general aviation show to take place this year. Gets underway at Wickham Airpark, Booker. It's co-located with Elite Events London and the British Golf Show. And General Aviation has its own dedicated area within the show format. There's a wide array of exhibitors who'll be at the show, so plenty to take a look at, try and buy. Ian, Johnny and I will be there, so if you see us, don't forget to say hello. I'll put a link in the comments.
We'll be there with our new videographer, Gareth. So if you feel like coming and saying hello, you might get a microphone stuck in your face, but don't be shy. Come and say hello. We'll just ask you various questions like, do you fly north up or track up? If you answer
this Alpha pilot has challenged my obviously I forgot all about the, like most people have, forgot all about the Duxford GA Day.
and the Microlight Trade Fair, but
that's true, yes. But apart from those two events,
that was it. Yeah, no. So So I was going to fly into Wickham. Unfortunately, my airplane went tech this morning, and so I'm not flying into Wickham. I'm driving into Wickham. I've emailed and cancelled my slot. It was forgettable.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, we heard that as well. So we'll be there. Come and say hello. We'll probably be there from opening time till, I don't know, lunchtime or something like that.
That's it.
Give it a go.
And I will be, you can meet me live and I'll be in sync.
Or Willie. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe I'm always like this.
That would be a great trick to pull off. We are actually trying to figure that out. But because we're like 4 different people using 4 different bits of kit in 4 different houses with 4 different internet speeds, all going through one piece of software that doesn't have any way to adjust stuff like that, it makes it actually quite difficult. So we're trying to figure out a way of improving that, but it's not going to be a quick fix, or it's not going to be a cheap fix either. And so there you go. Right, I'm up next on the news, and my story is the Aero Expo. I wrote Aero Expo kicks the bucket. That's probably a little bit too. Anyway, Aero Expo that was going to take place in June at Kemble / Cotswold Airport, depending on what you want to call it, today was cancelled. The organisers sent a round-robin thing round to everyone saying, it's with regret that we took the decision to cancel Aero Expo. Apparently, some hangar space that had been put to one side for them or that hadn't been put to one side for them, who knows, but exhibition exhibits indoors, as apparently they found out today was not going to be available to them, and decided that made things very difficult, which is, frankly, I have a great deal of sympathy for them. If today is the day, or yesterday was the day they found out that the hangar they thought they were going to have is not available and they got 4 weeks to go, that's a little bit of a tricky situation, I would say.
Yep.
So yeah, they've cancelled. I mean, I have to say, from the floor plans and stuff that we've seen, it did look a little bit thin on the ground anyway. So maybe they had a close escape. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I wish everybody well. And as a show organizer, I know it's going to be a fairly stressful thing. But yeah, so Aero Expo is not taking place at Cotswold Airpark. The sort of press release they sent out did say that they would be able, they would sort it all out and they'd be back next year. So watch this space, as they say, and see if anyone else occupies it.
Weren't they worried about the hydrogen pipe, says David Eads? Who knows? Coming up in the news.
Well, yeah. It's not been a, in all honesty, the hydrogen pipe, which I think we're coming to later, because, it's that kind of show where we're talking about pipes. It's not been a great week for great news from Cotswold, has it really? Because they gave out the news where they were closing on Sundays and Mondays from memory.
Yeah.
Closed to visitors from Sunday and Monday. I believe I read elsewhere that it's still open to based people using indemnity. But strangely, you can't get fuel from their automatic fuel dispenser on Sunday and Monday, even if you're based there. So that, on top of the fact that the show's not going to be there anymore, it's clearly less than ideal, should we say? So there you go. Talking of less than ideal, Johnny, you're up next. I don't mean you are less than ideal.
Of course not. Yeah, this is the rebel geezers who jumped out of the Cessna 182s, 2 weeks ago?
3 weeks
A bit more
ago
than
now.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now. They've both been sent a letter titled Emergency Order of Revocation. So Luke Aitken and Andrew Farrington have both had a letter, apparently. In fact, there's a copy of it on Twitter from a CNN correspondent saying that the acting administrator has determined that an emergency exists and that immediate action to revoke your commercial pilot certificate and other certificates issued to you is required. So they've lost their license privileges. We don't know if it's for a fixed time or if they're going to have to appeal to get them back or what. But following old Trevor Jacobs, the kind of precedent had been set for leaving an airplane, with the purpose of just generating publicity.
Yeah, that's it.
So,
I
guess they created Red Bull license swap instead.
That's something that we could recreate, isn't it?
No.
Not the jumping out of airplanes, the license swap. Yeah.
Richard Kennedy said, "I'm pretty sure I read or saw that they had been warned ahead of the jump." Well, that's true. They were told that they were reminded that there was no permission, and obviously one of the was it Luke Aitken?
I think Luke had been told that they didn't agree to the exemption.
He knew about that and actively, and then declared the week after that he takes full responsibility. He withheld that information from the team. So, pretty odd behaviour.
Yeah,
I've seen a few posts from the team since on Facebook and stuff like that, and there's not a huge amount of talk about the whole licensing thing really amongst those posts.
No.
What about the passenger landing the Cessna Caravan? Well, didn't that passenger and the controller do well? But I don't think the FAA will be suspending his license for landing.
No, they'll be giving him a license.
They should give him one.
Yeah, the FAA license award.
That sounds like one of those not the 9 o'clock news quizzes, doesn't it? At some point, you have got Luke Aitken, you have got Trevor Jacob, you have got Trent Palmer, and you have got some bloke that no one's ever heard of who landed a Caravan.
That's it, yeah. And actually made a pretty good job of it. I think if I made my first attempt to land a Caravan, it wouldn't be as nice as that guy managed.
I think it would, Ed. A Caravan's a nice big pussycat.
Okay.
You'd ace it.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
But I guess if I was thinking about this when I watched it on the news, that's a good advert for Garmin Autoland.
Yeah.
So you go, if ever there was a technology that would be useful in that situation. So
yeah, I was talking to people at Garmin at Aero, and also the people at Cirrus and the people at Piper about Autoland, and obviously there's not been any activations of Autoland yet anywhere in the world, but there will be one day, and there'll be some very happy people, I am sure. I'm not quite sure how this happened, but on my list, Johnny, not only did you have the last story, but you've
also got the next one.
He's going around the first pilot.
Well, he's got a good aeroplane to do it in a Caravan. So
yeah. He's going to get stuck in Greece as well. Sorry. Johnny, I don't know why you've got the next story, but you have got the next story as well, so don't hog it.
Yeah, so this is all about Microlight helicopters. So they've not yet made it to the UK properly. So small helicopters with a max weight of 600 kilograms are an established category across Europe. And that could change if the CAA approves the Zephyr helicopter, which is built by Italian company Curti Aerospace. They'll be showing it at Private Flyer this weekend, courtesy of Savback Helicopters, and then it's going to be shown at Nottingham Heliport on I've got the date, 16th to the 20th of May. It's been designed to meet CS27 requirements, and it's actually fitted with a whole aircraft parachute, which I think one of you was saying it's in the top of the rotor head, isn't it? And it pops up from there.
It's not shown on that picture, but it sits on top of the rotor head, and deploys and carries the whole aircraft down.
Yeah, and it's powered by a turboshaft engine with FADEC, which is about 250 140 shaft horsepower at max power with a max continuous of 141. And there is actually a video of the parachute deployment if you go to the Flyer website. And we've got it on the homepage. You can go there and have a look.
Yeah, an exciting development this, and it'd be nice. There's quite a few little helicopters in that category. So,
if you look at the rear skid, the rear legs, they look like they got really tall, long, spindly legs there at the back.
Yeah,
longer than any helicopter I can remember seeing. So someone's going to prove me wrong now and show me.
It's not unattractive though.
No,
not unattractive. Having been to Aero Friedrichshafen, there are plenty of unattractive helicopters out there.
Oh, weren't there indeed? Yes.
This one's Italian, so it's got to look good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Presumably it stopped the rotors before. I can't.
I can't imagine that would work. Would it?
No, it doesn't.
You'd be falling very quickly by the time the parachute came out.
The video is the video online in the news story.
Yes.
There we go. Excellent.
Yeah. Go check out the video and have a look. Yeah. Mr. Calderwood, over to you. I don't know if you want to stand up for this item or not.
So, this is the story about how a full formation of military aircraft is going to make a fly past over London to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee of Her Majesty the Queen on the 2nd of June 2022. There will be some airspace restrictions in place for this, as you might expect. There have been for other fly paths over Buckingham Palace. So an AIC, MOVE AIC 3322 has been issued detailing the airspace restrictions, and it will coincide with the royal family's appearance on the balcony. Only the working members of the royal family, not the non-working ones. So the fly past will start. It sort of assembles in the vicinity of the Wash, North Sea, and over Suffolk, and then it will route in towards London to overfly Buckingham Palace and then disperse out to the south and west. So there are various bits of airspace restrictions, and they're all detailed on the Flyer website, along with some charts issued by whoever issues these AICs.
Who doesn't do the charts in the UK? Is that Mr. Charty?
Yes.
I think it's kind of curious because if you look at that, there are absolutely. I mean, it's a big formation that's coming through, but there are huge bits of airspace, including stuff over the North Sea, from the surface to flight level 175, and even when it disperses, like about a mile from here, the airspace goes again from the surface. So I think there's been a whole bunch of people who have looked at it and said, this is some pretty lazy planning because there ain't no way, no matter how big a formation, are they going to take up that much airspace? And there's a whole bunch of other people who are like, yeah, but like, it's 45 minutes and it's for, Betty. So
I didn't think we had that many aeroplanes.
I'm not sure that we've got that many serviceable, but maybe I don't know.
Well, what we should do afterwards is we can plot it all on Google Earth and then get the tracks off ADSB, and we can show where all the airplanes are gone and prove to them
right.
next time.
As Steve Baker says,
they don't need it.
Yeah, Steve said she lives in Windsor Castle, doesn't she? She'll miss it.
I think there'll probably be another purple airway from a helicopter from Windsor Castle to Buck Palace. But yeah, it's been curious. There's quite a long thread on it on the Fly forum, so go take a look. Maybe he did. Indeed.
And that I would like to see. Queen's Jubilee flight path led by the turbulent team. That would be good.
I think we had a picture of that in the live stream with Sebastian's interview last week, didn't we?
Yes. Yeah.
Might still be in there.
So anyway,
Whiskey Alpha pilot has figured it out. Why have this fly past nonsense when you could have 30 aircraft drawing a crown in Flight Radar 24?
Because there would just be one person, wouldn't there, who would just go and do something not quite crown-like.
Yes.
We know what would happen, right? Whiskey Alpha pilot's on a bit of a roll tonight, isn't he?
He is. He is. Maybe he should be the fifth wheel of tonight's live stream.
Has Whiskey Alpha pilot come up with a suggestion for Fantasy Hangar yet?
No, he came up with the last one. So the last time we needed a suggestion, he was there.
not for an entrant. An entrant has he got his fancy hangar entrant?
No, I don't think he has. I may have missed that though. So.
Whiskey Alpha Pilot, stick your email if it's not private in the comments for a second, if you would.
Meanwhile, let's keep things moving.
Yes. Meanwhile, let's keep things moving. Ed, you've got the best news story of the week. I think it's about a pipe.
Yes, Kemble gets hydrogen. And that's the news that Europe's first landside to airside hydrogen airport pipeline has been unveiled by Zero Avia at Cotswold Airport. Now, clearly, you won't be able to turn up on Sunday or Monday and get self-service hydrogen. But the 100-meter long hydrogen pipeline runs alongside Zero Avia's hangar, where it's developing hydrogen electric fuel cell technology for use to power aircraft. And they've got basically a system where they can generate and deliver hydrogen to their aircraft. It's part of a scalable development technology to show how all this is possible. And obviously, the company plans to begin flight testing its ZA600 hydrogen electric powertrain this summer in a Dornier 228 testbed aircraft. And I think they're also planning to make the longest hydrogen-powered flight yet the UK has seen, I think, beginning 2023, I think I remember reading. The 600 kilowatt powertrain is part of the Project High Flyer 2. And the aim is to have a fully certified powertrain for aircraft up to 9 seats by 2024. And it's all supported by the UK Government Department for Business, Energy and Industry Strategy, and the ATI Institute and Innovate UK. And Nick Allen, no, you can't go and get your party balloons filled up there.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I'd have thought so. Right, keeping things moving. Dave
White, welcome along. We're happy that you've been flying on this nice evening.
Well done, Dave.
Yes. Yes. Johnny, tell us about...
it's me, isn't it? Oh, yeah, we're back on helicopters.
The big one. Got a picture somewhere.
Big helicopters. So, yeah, the Chinook, it had its 40th year of active service last year. And to celebrate it, a car specialist tuning company called Technic have produced a handcrafted Land Rover Defender called the Q40. And it's a one-off car. It's going to be auctioned at Goodwood Revival on the 17th of September. And all the proceeds from the sale will be donated to RAFA, Royal Air Forces Association. And they'll also get a behind-the-scenes tour of ODM, a look around the Chinook. It's being raffled or auctioned off by Bonhams. The team actually worked with 18 Squadron at Odeon for design cues from the aeroplane for the interior and the exterior. It's finished in shades of gloss and matte dark green, matched to the fuselage of the aeroplane apparently. And there's lightweight carbon fibre used throughout it, wheel arch extensions, custom designed grille, bonnet and fender vents, all that kind of thing. So yeah, this actually is what prompted tonight's fantasy hangar. So we'll be matching aeroplanes and cars in a bit, or some of us will anyway.
I think it's just a shame that that Land Rover hadn't been fitted with twin rotors.
Okie dokie. Right. I was going to say something profound then, but I decided not to.
Fine. Shall I do my next bit of news?
You do your next bit of news. I'm gonna just go change screens for a little while. Do you want a picture up, or you can do your own? You can auto picture yourself.
Yeah,
Johnny can sort my picture because it's all about getting into aerobatics. British Aerobatics will stage its next Get Into Aeros event at Fenland on the 25th and 26th of June. You may have heard of this one before. It's an event aimed at PPLs who want basically to try aerobatics and learn a bit more, and are looking for ways to make their post-PPL flying a bit more exciting. This year, the event has been open to all age groups. Previously, it's had a bit of an age limit on it. The program will involve 2 aerobatic flights with one of their aerobatic instructors and the chance to fly a short, simple aerobatic sequence in front of a panel of judges. And I think it's a 2-seat aeroplane, and you'll have the instructor with you. And it's a good way to get experience of that without going full-blown into it. In between, there'll be presentations on aerobatic topics, such as a chance to meet Nigel Lamb, 8 times aerobatic world champion, sorry, a British aerobatic champion, and Red Bull Air Race Championship winner. There'll be demonstrations of all levels of the aerobatic competitions, plus plenty of aerobatic pilots to chat with. If you want to join in the event, it's £199, which includes all flying and activities, and there's free camping at the airfield. If you're interested, it's limited to 16 participants to ensure there's plenty of time for everyone to get experience. So book now, and I'll stick a link in the comments.
And I think they've actually increased the age limit, because it used to be 30.
It did, yeah. I did say, Johnny, that it's available to all.
Sorry.
Yeah, pay attention, Johnny.
Pay attention, Bond.
Weather, Johnny.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Keir Williams says, I did the Get Into Aeros event in 2019. Thoroughly recommend it. Great fun.
Yeah. And so, excellent. Jolly good. Right. Next story. Dave. More. I nearly said more bloody helicopters then, but more helicopters. Dave.
Well, the real story is about Plymouth Airport, and the campaign called Fly Plymouth have been stepping up their activities this year. They've just released a statement about how the Ministry of Defence has started a bidding process for a new 5-year Royal Navy helicopter support contract. It's called, the contract is for the Fleet Operational Sea Training, known as FOST. It used to be based at airport for 16 years, but it was forced to relocate to Newquay in 2011 when Plymouth Airport closed. Now, this contract is up for renewal. It's a bigger contract than before because it includes support for the new Queen Elizabeth class its carriers. The contract will be awarded from March 2024, and people are getting ready to bid right now. Now, the obvious thing to do is to reopen Plymouth Airport, and for this contract to be a tangible part of operating the airport. Most of these helicopters are going to be operating around an area of Plymouth called Devonport, HMS Devonport, which is where the Navy has its big base. So at the moment, they have to transit all the way to Newquay, all the way back, just to get fuel. And so by the time they've got back, they've used half the fuel and they've used up a load of time. So it's complete blinking nonsense. I saw a finger go up there.
Yeah, I've got a question.
Yes.
It might be an obvious thing. Why can't we just get a Bowser into Devonport?
Devonport is a shipyard. It's not a great place to bring in the helicopters and look after them, put it like that.
Can helicopters land vertically, or did I miss that?
They can land vertically, but you need to. I don't know. I just like this stuff.
Stop picking on Dave.
No, I'm just thinking even if it's a small port, helicopters have this unique ability to land vertically. So
they do.
So your idea of getting a Bowser in there seems like a good one.
But yes, I know. There's probably all sorts of reasons that you land in a big helicopter full of fuel. You may not be able to take off and land vertically. Could be you have to sort of go to do a bit of a run. It's all part of the case building up to reopen Plymouth Airport. The real problem with Plymouth Airport is, first of all, the local council, Plymouth City Council, is is in a bit of chaos because it's evenly split between Labour and Conservative. They both agree they want to reopen the airport, but neither of them can agree how to do it. And also the council officers have made a real fudge up of it because the contract, the lease, which is currently with Sutton Harbour Group, is a complete mess. No one can agree on the actual value of this lease, so they need to sort that out. The chap called Rail Witherall, who's the chief executive of Fly Plymouth, has written some fairly scathing stuff about the lack of ability of the city council to get its act together. So they're really pushing hard to try and make something happen here. What we really need is the Secretary of State for Transport, Grant Shapps, our mate, to step in there and knock a few heads together, make it happen.
I haven't seen him on news or anything recently. He's been a bit quiet.
He has been quiet. Yeah, he's been talking about trains and tickets.
Well, if there was ever a good piece of the aviation network, then Plymouth Airport would be it.
It would. Yep. As someone who lives close by, It's an hour to Exeter. It's an hour to Bodmin. It's a little bit less to Bolthead, but that's not quite offering the same things.
But if you kept it last week, Plymouth, it would only be, what, 5 minutes?
It would only be 5 minutes. Yes.
You were talking about the council being split between Labour and Tories. We're not going to get into politics at all here. I used to live in Plymouth a long time before you, Dave. And down on in the Barbican, there was an artist whose name I can remember who painted some really good portraits of local councillors and stuff like that. And the story goes that all these local councillors were all kind of like, oh, I'm going to get my picture painted on the wall, and this artist, and he does a really good job. Blah, 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 blah. And then there was a bit of a shock because when he finished it, he painted great representations, but he painted them all naked in various poses and things. So they weren't that pleased about it, apparently.
They're not still there, I can tell you that.
No, I'm not surprised about that. Right, moving on before we get to today's surprise. Oh, it's my story. Oban in Scotland basically saw this. Oh, not that one. We'll come back to that a bit later. This one there. This was posted on Facebook. Oban basically said late one night, a few people broke in, did some damage to some airplanes. They're looking at CCTV. I mean, what is it about people who want to go and break airplanes? So bloody annoying. If we find out who it is, we need to have a word with them and help them mend their ways. I would think is probably the best way of doing that. So bloody hell, if I really don't get. I mean, there's really winds me out. That does. Anyway, quickly, Johnny. Sorry, not John. Johnny. Where's Mac?
Where's his documents?
It's all right. We have the answer to where is Mac. Borderless Aviation says, where is Mac? Pool boy in a Club Med in Greece.
There are worse things, I guess.
Loving it. Yeah. Loving it.
It's good. Hey, Dad. Yeah, no, I've lost the documents again.
Yeah. Someone's stolen the Rotax from the shark.
Right, that brings us to Fantasy Hangar and tonight's mystery guest. Let me bring him in. Hey, Wayne, the scout pilot.
Hello.
How are you?
I guess Wayne didn't know he was going to be a mystery guest until maybe a few minutes ago.
Let me just. There you go. Well, welcome.
I didn't even prepare.
Welcome to the live stream.
We can tell you didn't get a chance to prepare, Wayne, because clearly we now see your fantastic collection of soft toys.
That's actually my wife. My wife is heavily into Disney, and the whole house has got Disney characters everywhere.
Yeah, we don't believe you.
we think it's you. Before we get to Fancy Hangar, let's just go through the quick fire questions. What's your name? Well, we know that. What do you fly?
Cessna 172.
Excellent. Where from, roughly? In case
L Street.
L Street. Jolly good. That's the place with the enormous circuit, isn't it? That goes north of Luton or something.
Just about, and it's also got several curves and strange bits and certain houses that you must not fly over, because you'll phone the tower up 5 minutes later.
All right. And I think I'm right in saying that you've just bought your share in the Cessna, haven't you?
That's correct. About 2 months ago now. And it's literally just gone in for its annual, so I'm gonna hopefully don't end up with a large bill.
That was a terrible time to buy a share.
It's one of those things that, as you know, I mean, I trained on PA-28s, so initially I was looking for a PA-28 share, but they are a little bit like hen's teeth. And this particular Cessna came up. I'd seen a share for it about 6 months ago, and went, "Oh, that sounds quite nice." But at that point, I'd never flown a Cessna. And it came up again because somebody else in the group was leaving. So I sort of popped up and went, I'd be interested. And they went, okay, yeah, we like the sound of you. And I actually signed on the dotted line before I actually flew it. But everyone I spoke to said it was a great share. And I have now flown it several times and I love it. It's beautiful.
Very good. And I think we're right in saying that you have a YouTube channel, don't you, as well?
Yes, you described me a couple of weeks ago as an up-and-coming YouTuber, which I was like, "Hey, famous last."
It could be worse. You know what Dave's, you know how Dave's described other YouTubers in the past. So
Yes, I watched that particular episode. But I used YouTube when I was training and when I first got interested in flying, and watched people like Rory and Ben, and it was a case of I could use this as an opportunity to record what I was doing, but then I had more and more people asking me questions, so I started creating material that was around my experiences about the way I learned to fly, which was quite odd because I started just before lockdown, and then we had I could fly, I can't fly, I could fly, I can't fly. So I had that up and down all the way through. And I actually put a video out a week or so ago of how much it cost me to learn to fly. And my normal videos, 300-400 people. This video is up to about 8,000 now.
Wow.
Wow.
And lots of people were, yes, the total was £28,000, but that was spread over nearly 2 years.
Have you shared this with your wife, Wayne?
Yes, she is an avid enthusiast. I couldn't do it without her. She actually has her name on the NHS Spitfire when they were doing the fundraising. Put your name on it for a charity donation. And she probably drives to Duxford more often than I fly there.
Yeah, and to be fair, it looks like she spent more than that on Disney animals.
Yes, she goes to Disneyland Paris about 4 times a year. And I think we're booked to go to Disneyland in the States in a couple of times.
Okay.
Yes,
yes, he's a good YouTuber.
Thank you. I do try.
Well, there you go.
I've just subscribed to you.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, no.
Thanks, Johnny.
Talking of YouTubers, I think we're not that far off. I mean, we're getting close to 4,000, which I know is like a relatively tiny number in the world of YouTube. But
Disney is actually my wife.
Yeah, Mrs. Whiskey Alpha Pilot has appeared to defend the fact that she hasn't spent that much.
Yeah, so subscribe to Whiskey Alpha Pilot and subscribe to Flyer while you're there.
Oh, definitely Flyer. Flyer's been very, very good as a resource, and I've done a lot of things in my life in terms of activities that involve groups of people, and I must admit I found aviation to be one of the groups where, even as a beginner, as a student pilot, people are very welcoming. Yes, there's 1 or 2 people who are off, shall we say, but the vast majority of people on the forums and on Facebook, etc., are quite nice to talk to and quite encouraging. And Flyer's actually been a big part of that for me. And I'm not going to sit here complaining about the forum because I've run forums before, and I think you're doing a great job, guys.
We'll get there. We will get there. We will get there. Right, jolly good. Let's go to Fantasy Hangar. I wonder if I'm going to see if I can get the right
button. Don't delete anyone.
Well, he's not walking around London.
Must be time for
Edwin.
It's the wrong one. Sorry.
Not that one.
Not that one. Try this one.
Very good. Are we going back to 5, or are we staying like we are? There we go.
Going back to 5.
Excellent. So, Fancy Hangar. In the news, we heard about a company, the company that's built a modern version of the Land Rover Defender in tribute to the venerable Chinook helicopter. And that got us thinking, what car and aeroplane pairings could we dream up for our Fancy Hangars? Chaps, who goes first?
Unfortunately, I'm down to go first, which I hadn't really planned, but I'd forgotten to change the order on the running sheet. So I'm going to have to go first. So
away you go, Ian.
I'm just going to make a plea here. When you listen to everybody else's, they're going to go, I've picked this because it's brilliant for this and it's brilliant for that, and it does this and it goes at 32.5 miles an hour and it matches, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to have none of that at all. I'm just going to talk to you about the pure style of these aeroplanes. These airplanes and cars. They are quite possibly, in fact, I nearly went for this.
There's no style in that at all.
That is amazing, said nobody ever. So I decided not to go for that. Not sounding like Ian wins. Well, you wait. Okay, Ian, you win. Thank you. Okay, so the first one, the aeroplane, is the inimitable Caudron C460. Absolutely stunning bloody airplane. I mean, it would be terrifying to fly, but isn't it just absolutely gorgeous? Isn't that possibly a stunning airplane you've ever seen?
That is pretty lovely.
Pretty lovely. And matched only, some would say superseded, I'm not sure I'd go that far, by what is the best looking car probably in the world. It's the Citroen DS. This one's the convertible Citroen DS. Again, stunning car, way ahead of its time, beautiful. Who wouldn't want to pull up into the hangar on a nice summer's day of one of those and then get out and jump into the Caudron? I'll just give you the Caudron again, just so you can, just look at that. Amazing. And then once after your flight, you get out of that, you've landed successfully. You've been a little bit confined in that cockpit. I mean, look at the canopy. It's not the biggest canopy in the world, is it? So just a bit of contrast. You get in there, you stretch out, go back, wind in your hair, go and have a croissant or something.
Very nice.
That would be amazing.
You'd want the soft cosseting ride of the Citroen to balance out the terror of the Caudron, I feel.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think you're right, and absolutely. So there you go. That's my combination of aircraft and cars. So next up we have got Dave.
Right. So the aircraft I've chosen an aircraft and a vehicle which can cope with rough terrain. So I've chosen the RANS S21 outbound, partly because I've seen the kit of this, and this is actually a kit I could probably make. It's not the prettiest aeroplane in the world, but it is a very nice, sound aeroplane. Unfortunately, it's not available in the UK at the moment. The LAA has not approved it as a kit, but I'm sure that can be rectified or something. Anyway, but this is the aeroplane, lovely little thing, 2 seats side by side. I know that people advocate the Super Cub and all the lookalikes as being the best bush planes, but I actually like a side-by-side 2-seater rather than a tandem 2-seater. So that's my reasoning for the RANS. And my vehicle, I say vehicle because...
Sorry, it was a car, wasn't it, Dave? We were going for
What car have you picked?
I've picked one of the best motorcycles ever, the BMW R80 GS. This is the Paris-Dakar replica of 1985. 200 of these particular models made, but the R80 GS is such a wonderful motorcycle to ride.
Is that a bicycle for a stormtrooper?
You have to enjoy motorbike. You can bank a motorcycle just like you can bank an aeroplane. They've got far more in common with.
That's just a car. Nick Allen's in your defence there. He says, good bike choice, Dave.
Absolutely excellent choice. Yep.
And Dave wins for the motorbike. If only it was a car, if it was aeroplane and motorbike, James.
I quite like Beef Wellington, but that's not a car either, is it?
Okay. Who's next?
I think it should be time for Wayne to jump in next. We haven't got a picture for you, Wayne, unfortunately, but
this was a very last minute. But based on my wife's choices of aircraft and also some of my previous history, I would go for a Spitfire and a Triumph Spitfire. These days, both classics, and I could just imagine getting out and sitting down, getting out of my Spitfire at Duxford or Biggin, wandering over to my Triumph Spitfire, starting it up and watching all the oil drip out from the bottom. Classic British car, but
I like the Spitfire. Not so hung up on the Triumph Spitfire. Though there is, if you go searching on YouTube, there is a fantastic video of an advert made in the 70s, I think it is, of Triumph Spitfire and Supermarine Spitfire. And it's very hard to tell that it's from that many. It could almost be a timeless video. You'll never know it was from the 70s. We'll find the link. Put in the comments. There is a handlebar moustache in there somewhere.
Ed, you're up next.
I'm up next. No, what about Johnny?
Yeah.
Shall I go next?
Yeah,
go on
go
then.
for it,
Right,
Johnny.
right. So yeah, so to take Wayne's point of rocking up in your Spitfire and jumping into your Triumph, I'm thinking, imagine landing at the beach, nosing up onto the sand, and then stepping out from your air cam into your mini moke. The wind in your hair in both machines. I just think they'd be a great pairing to have together. And I picked these because they're so similar to one another. I think
they're a good match.
Yeah, both pretty frugal machines. They're good fun. They're outdoors, wind in your hair, summertime machines. I think that would be a great pairing. The Aircam, I've seen a few, Ed, you'll know more about them than me, that are fully enclosed.
Yep.
But others that are, I think it generally seems to be the amphibious.
They were all designed to be open, and eventually a few people said, we fly these in cold places, so can we have a cockpit? But Ian and I were very lucky and pitched up at the factory once. And Ian, you flew one on floats, didn't you? I flew one on gear, and we got to fly around at like 5 feet off a lake, as Phil Lockwood demonstrated just how amazing the Aircam is.
They are stunning airplanes. They are fantastic. And after I'd flown around a bit on the amphibious one, we jumped in the wheel version. And we pulled up to the runway at the kind of like hold bars before the runway, and this was an uncontrolled airport. There was nobody there, and just went, okay, here we go. Just went to full power. Didn't even turn onto the runway. Just took off from the width of the runway.
You took off across the numbers, didn't you?
Yeah, it was astounding. And then I think a couple of years later, maybe a year later, we saw the version with the kind of perspex enclosed canopy, which I think looks.
It's not a blustery place to be. It's an amazing cockpit experience. But I know for some people they fly in colder places and wanted a bit of a bubble. So Johnny Borderless Aviation says Johnny living in Saint-Tropez with those two.
Yeah. Instead, I'm living in Cirencester with these two.
Well, that's not so bad.
No, don't complain. Okay, Ed.
So that just leaves me, and I threw the team a bit of a curveball earlier because I said, I'm going for the most produced aeroplane, the Cessna 172, and the most produced car, which is the Toyota Corolla. But I'm doing no such thing because, I don't put that little effort into Fantasy Hangar. So I've gone for this pairing of aircraft and car, and this could have actually happened. And all we have to do is take ourselves back to Italy in 1967. So the car is the Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale, and obviously it's the Sire Marchetti SF260. They were launched pretty much at the same time. The SF260 was certified in 66, while the 33 Stradale made its debut in 1967. Even more interesting, though, is the story of one of the car's buyers and the aviation heritage he had. So all the Alfa Romeos of all the 33 Stradales that were made were painted red because that was the company colours. However, one customer said, I want my 33 Stradale in bright blue. And that car was delivered to Italian aviation tycoon Count Corrado Augusta, who ordered it with the seats based on the ones found in his helicopters. Augusta obviously would go on to build the beautiful 109 executive helicopter, and his company would eventually purchase Sire Marchetti. Now, there's some beautiful aviation synergy. So the SF260 is 260 horsepower and 160 knots. The 33 Stradale is 260 horsepower and 160 miles an hour. So,
is the car really that big?
Probably not. I may not have done that to scale, but
because it's been huge.
But yes, no, the car is beautiful. It's very, very, very nice, and I like blue. So.
Yeah, no, the blue's good. Blue's good.
I think Ed wins.
I'll give you that. That's a strong choice. Well
done. So looking at the comments, so we have going a long way back. Stuart Roux said, obviously I'm going to say Falco as Fratti pinched all the Rosso red paint from the Ferrari factory. Very good. RV.co.uk, Ian Course says Bugatti Model 100 Racer and Veyron. And that's a very good point, because in the, I know in our photos, I think Ian was at one point going to pick the Bugatti 100 Racer and the...
Just looking.
Though he's gone for the Veyron, hasn't he? Which is the modern car, not the Type 57 Atlantique. So, that's a couple of beautiful choices. Trent 772 says Ford Ranger with a PC12, Lotus Elise with an EV97. That's all good. Jonathan Holland reckons that RV7s are white Range Rover Evokes and all sorts of other things, which is all a bit mean. But we know how you think. Piper L4 Carbon Original Warbird colours for Dave White with a Willys Jeep. Fantastic. Roger Breckle says Bugatti and Bugatti. Paul Sengupta says MR2 and Bulldog.
MR2?
Falco and Ferrari for Dave Disney. Robert Woodham says Mustang and Mustang. Kia Williams says strong entry from Sega tonight, provided you don't kill yourself in the Caudron and actually get to enjoy yourself in the DS. Aviator Steve says Morgan and a Spitfire. Richard Kennedy channels his inner Whiskey Alpha pilot and says Triumph Spitfire and the one by Supermarine. What else have we got? We've got Armstrong Siddeley Hurricane and a Hurricane, says Nick Orchard. Good choices. Mikey Twigs Across the Sky says Wayne nicked my choice. Paul Sengupta says Bristol Fighter and Bristol Fighter. So yeah, though the Bristol Fighter car is a little bit ugly. Johnny wins for the Mini.
You can say that.
Yes. Julian Treadwell says Grumman Duck and Amphicar. Yeah, I like that. Steve McGee. Oh, that's quite strong. DH88 Comet and E-Type Jag.
Oh, that is a good one.
Kia Williams says Ed wins. Beautiful SS260. Ed gets my vote. Ed wins, facing headwinds today. Ed wins. Ed wins. Ed wins fancy garage. Johnny wins fancy hangar. Ed wins. Ed definitely wins. Ed again. Johnny's choice.
Okay, fair enough.
Ed again. Wayne wins. There we go.
Yes.
Hey.
Made my day.
Johnny wins.
Yes.
Right.
But I think that might be an actual Ed wins.
I think that could be an actual Ed wins, and I have to say, once we got a whole bunch of other things done, about number 14 on the to-do list is to produce some flyer T-shirts with Ed wins on the back. So we'll be selling those at some time shortly. Right. Thank you very much for that. That was a good laugh, wasn't it? Let's have a quick canter through the events, Dave.
Right. Well, the events are coming thick and fast, and this weekend is one of the busiest of the year, I should imagine. So I'm going to quickly rush through these, looking at the time. Friday and Saturday. Tomorrow and Saturday is Private Flyer at Wickham. Saturday, there's an evening of espionage at Shuttleworth at Old Warden. Saturday, Longside Airfield flying. There's Vintage Pipers at Goodwood over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, Osters at Fenland. I did see someone also mention about a Joe Dell event on Sunday at Headcorn, which we don't...
Paul Fraser Benison, I think, right at the start of the show.
Yep, that's right. We haven't got that in our listings because no one told us about it. There's a spring flying at North Coates over Saturday and Sunday. The first Royal Aero Club air races of the year are on Saturday and Sunday at Leeds East. So that was a pretty late announcement as well. Sunday, Vintage Cessnas at Popham. And Ian's bike ride is on Sunday. Is that Sunday?
Sunday. So on Sunday, there's a bike ride called Dan Buster's 2022 bike ride up around Lincolnshire, which I'm heading up to have a go around. It's in aid of the Royal Air Force Benevolent Fund, and someone will kindly put a link in the comments just in case anyone fancies sponsoring me. I'm not looking for loads of money. I've already hit my target. £1 or £2 would be fantastic. 100 miles around with a couple of pit stops, one of which is at Scampton and the other one at which is at East Kirkby. So looking forward to that on Saturday. If you're riding, say hello. If you're not, see you next time. So
Okay,
there you go. What else have we got?
So just looking ahead slightly, because just to identify some events coming up, there's a bunch of Gasco safety evenings coming up. These are all on the website. There are 2 STOL events on the same day, on the 21st of May. There's one at an airfield which has a nickname of Bryce Norman. It's called Bryce Norman because the farmer is called Norman Lewis, and it's his field. Bryce Norman. Not far away, there's also an event, a STOL event at Slape. At Shuttleworth on the 21st, there's a whole load of auto gyros going for a record. An event called Top Nav is a sort of it's a navigation event. It's at various airfields over the week from the 22nd to the 29th of May. Big event coming up, Spanfield at Sandown, 27th to the 29th of May. Huge event, mostly microlights, but actually any aircraft is welcome. And Ed has slipped this one in here. He's actually doing the Arctic, which is, I think, is a lorry, isn't it? An Arctic. Should be the Arctic flying, I think, in Finland.
I'm not that bright, Dave.
No, sorry. In Finland. Is Finland still going to be there by then?
Well, let's hope. But this is, yes.
I'm not going to invade it. Okay. It's on the 11th of June, and it's at a place called Sodankia.
Sodankia. Yes.
Sodankia, right, okay.
EFSO, if you want an ICAO code. It was someone ran it past me today, and EASA were promoting it, a fly-in in the Arctic. So
in the Arctic Circle.
Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
right.
How about that?
Yeah.
So you don't need a night rating, whatever time you arrive this time.
Exactly. Yeah.
River Rock says half our air force will be there.
SkyDemon cover the Arctic Circle.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Excellent. Johnny.
Yeah, so club members, in the email for this live stream is the link to go and get your discount code for private flyer. I think landing slots are completely full now, but you can still drive and save money on the ticket. And I think there's something like a free glass of sparkling wine on arrival or something like that, promised by Alex. So come and see us. We'll be there for a good few hours tomorrow. The paywall will be coming down at some point. So if you ain't a club member, you can join for £30. Go to fly.co.uk and join before it goes up to 52.
Excellent. And lastly, for those people who are wondering when we're going to fix the forums, we're going to fix the forums as soon as we possibly can. It's taken a while, as you can imagine. We may even revert to a previous version of something. Don't worry, none of the data will be lost. But it's proving a little bit bloody tricky, to be honest. So there you go. We are getting there slowly. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Wayne, for joining us.
Thank you.
Guest. And we look forward to seeing you all we look forward to seeing you all at Private Fire tomorrow. Come and say hello. Otherwise, we'll see you next Wednesday if you're a club member, next Thursday, and you can make it next Thursday if not. Fly safely, have a great weekend, and that is about it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Cheers. Bye.
Yeah.